All right. Welcome to the channel today. Got my computer here. Just wanted to share some slides with you. Half of women say managing retirement savings feels stressful. But today I want to look at 3 things you can do right now to feel more confident. And if you see right here on the screen, this is a graphic from Goldman Sachs, and it's kind of showing you, we're all pretty familiar with the problems, right? And what this graphic is showing you is that women feel pretty stressful about their retirement savings right now. You see very stressed, somewhat stressed, neither stressful or comfortable. So basically, if you take those two on the left, very stressful, somewhat stressful, you've got half of women saying that they do feel very stressed about their retirement savings and to higher degrees than men. Okay? Not a surprise here. And, there's a lot of female financial advisors online, guys too, that talk about this problem. I don't hear a lot of people offering solutions, and we're going to do a little bit of that today. All right. So, let me just come back over here. I'm going to show you something. This is a chart from Fidelity, actually a report from Fidelity, not a chart. It's just some words here. One of the things that I do want to talk about, the first way to kind of start to get your finances organized is to have a mindset change about it. Now, I see a lot of financial advisors out there on YouTube that talk about retirement can be this wonderful new chapter. That is true. I've seen it happen. I mean, my retired clients are much more busy and doing the fun stuff that they want, more so than even those that are working. However, some of this kind of cheesy language that some advisors use, even advisors I know that I've worked with in the past, live the retirement of your dreams. I feel like some of that talk is missing the mark these days. The last few years have made a lot of people more worried about the prospects for their retirement. I mean, we're seeing inflation. There's a lot of worry right now that we might be headed into a recession. You are seeing layoffs already. And if I go back to this one, I mean, charts like this one, they rehash the problem, which we all know. We know the reasons that women are often less prepared for retirement. Less time in the workforce, lower pay, et cetera, et cetera. So let's look at some solutions. There are some. Now, let me get to the mindset thing. And this is big. I want you to get over the idea that men are somehow naturally better at managing their money than you are. Now, this is prevalent, I think, more so maybe among the boomers. I'm not dunking on boomers. It's not a slam on the generation at all. It's just that in the past, men being better with the investing part of money was sort of an ingrained belief. Hang on. That's a live video right there. I got something caught in my throat. So this paragraph from Fidelity right here, it shows that it is changing among the younger generations. You have, let's see, more than 1 in 3 women have unlearned the stereotype that men are better at managing finances. Younger generations leading the way, 44% of Gen Z women saying they have unlearned this stereotype. I don't know, 44% for Gen Z. That still seems kind of low, but it's better compared to 32% of millennials and 29% of Gen X. And I'm sure that number was even lower among the boomers. And what's more, women are no longer treating money as a taboo subject and are more open to talking about money with their peers, right? I mean, I think that's a great thing about some of the younger generations is that there's not this reluctance, this hesitance to be talking about salary with your peers. Why not? There's every reason to discuss this. And I think particularly that helps women more to know, are the guys making more at work? If this stuff is more openly discussed for people in the same or very similar jobs, then, this should be discussed. Sorry if you can hear my puppy, my black lab barking there in the background. Okay, let me go over to this other slide I have over here. So Anyway, I know that in a lot of heterosexual couples that the woman handles the budget and bill paying and the guy handles the investments. And that's kind of been the traditional sort of gender breakdown. But I also know that turning a blind eye to the investments, women can find themselves in a bad situation if the husband dies sooner, which typically happens, right? Just most of the time. I've seen many times that women, maybe widows, divorced women, they come in to see me with a portfolio with investments just too risky or just lumped into a collection of stuff that isn't necessarily designed to achieve any kind of return. And again, by the way, I'm not dumping on the guys here. I've seen plenty of women come to my firm as new clients as well, also without a clear plan and what I call a collection of stuff, like the junk drawer, really. You got an old 401k from a job you quit 25 years ago and you never looked at that account again. You've got an oil company stock you inherited from your father 10 years ago and you never sold. You got a big pile of cash sitting in a brokerage account that you just completely forgot about. I've seen all this and more. I mean, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. But the point is, when these women come in with this collection of stuff, they're asking for a plan, asking for the help, which frankly, most people can use. Here, let me go to my next slide here that I wanted to show you. This is Kenneth French, okay? I mean, you look at him, Roth, family distinguished professor of finance at the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth College, papers such as the cross-section of expected stock returns. Kenneth French is well known in investing circles for developing what's called multi-factor asset pricing models. Brainy stuff there. I actually work with some of his models and I'm familiar with it as some of the investing I've done for clients, but he's a brainiac. He invents this stuff. Now, I saw a video where Mr. French here talked about using a financial advisor himself, right? So the idea that a lot of people have, I'm smart enough to do this myself, is pretty crazy. Because actually what an advisor can do is serve as a coach to take the emotions out and give you an objective view. Now, I'm digressing. I do this a lot. I get worked up. I kind of get down a path, but I do feel strongly about how easy it is for people to avoid some of these common mistakes. And I feel very strongly for women, LGBTQ community members, solo retirees. I want people to really feel comfortable and make the right retirement decisions. Let's go to Fidelity again, just to kind of close the loop on this one. The idea that guys are somehow better at investing is a myth. Women don't take as much risk, which often means their retirement accounts do end up with higher value. Let me just get that slide over there. Okay, I want to tell you a story about some clients I had. Their names were Don and Linda. I'm actually just making up those names. They're close to their names though. And husband and wife. And it was kind of funny because the husband, Don, he, why did I pick that name? I don't know why I picked that name. Oh, I guess I see it in the news a lot. He came to me after seeing some of my articles online and asked me if we could be their financial advisor. She was also a client then at the time. Usually when I'm on the phone with a couple or meeting with a couple, I want them both together there. So I don't like the idea, and it's funny because I'm just going to say it. A lot of male advisors act like this is some revolutionary idea to invite the wife to the meetings. Well, yeah, both spouses should be in the meetings. I've had situations where there's been kind of a drag-along husband, right? Where the wife is the one who is driving the couple's investment strategy. And in those cases, when the wife has said to me, "Oh no, he'll do whatever I say here. He doesn't care." Bring him along, because it turns out he does have some opinions and some good questions. And of course, it's usually the reverse, that the guy says, "Well, she doesn't know anything about this." Yeah, you know what? Bring her in. She'll have some questions, and I want her there. Everybody needs to be on the same page. So in any case, In this particular situation, I believe I was rolling over some IRAs for them, an individual retirement account. So if you're going to be doing that and you need some help rolling over 401k to an IRA, which is a very cumbersome process, by the way, more than it should be in 2025, you only need one person. The person who owns the IRA is the only one who needs to be on the phone for the rollover, the person who owns the 401k. So anyway, one time I was on the phone with the wife, and she kind of said to me, she goes, well, speaking of her husband, again, we're going to call him Don, he really knows what he's doing with the investments. Okay, I hear that a lot. So then subsequently, maybe a week or so later, I was on the phone with him, rolling over a 401k to an IRA. And he said something really funny. I didn't even mention what she had said because it wasn't really that important at the time. And he said to me, he goes, she really thinks I know what I'm doing, but I don't. That's why I hired you, so don't tell her that. So I thought that was pretty funny, and it was good that that guy acknowledged it. But the interesting part is that is what so many women defer to in thinking somehow the men are just blessed with astonishing abilities to invest. And I think where that comes from is men enjoy stock trading more. They enjoy the hobbies of stock trading and options. That doesn't necessarily mean you're a good retirement investor, though. And I know lots of guys who have blown up. And what I mean by that is boom, in a bad way, blown up some of those trading accounts. Okay. And yeah, women can do it too, but it usually happens with guys. Okay. Let me go over here. Here's a very practical idea for people who are kind of thinking about, I'm worried about retirement. I'm not sure I'm prepared. What should I do? Try a practice run, as this article says right here. Run a retirement budget rehearsal without stopping work. So what you're going to do is practice living on your projected retirement income, your budget, while you are still working. This is kind of a way to kind of work out some of the kinks here, right? So you keep earning your paycheck, but you only spend what your expected income will allow you, and you'll do some estimates of your Social Security. And yes, I know that's a hot topic. Please don't spam me in the comments with your opinions on whether Social Security will be here or not. I actually don't care what everybody's opinion is on whether Social Security will be here or not. You still have to plan for it, okay? Sure, you can estimate low, but at this point, for the baby boomers, for the Gen Xers, pretty comfortable saying you will be able to receive your Social Security. And yes, I know that Congress has to act before 2032 to preserve the majority of benefits. Actually, if they don't do anything by 2032, what the situation is that Social Security will only be able to pay out 70% of projected benefits. Now, I know Congress is this dysfunctional mess right now for one particular reason. However, I am pretty confident that none of them want to be the ones to cut Social Security for their constituents, So pretty sure they're going to act before 2032. Again, I went down another rabbit hole there. Okay. Point is, you want to include all your income sources. And like this article in front of you says, right here, this is a good one. Use a separate pile of money to see where the pinch points might be. And that separate pile of money is just representative of the income and expenses you expect in retirement. Now, please be realistic, no magical thinking, and no incorporating some kind of expected inheritance. Just pretend that doesn't exist. Really, that's always the way to factor in an inheritance into your planning is do not factor it in until it's in your bank account or in your brokerage account, okay? Even if you think it's going to happen, act like it's not going to, because who knows what the future holds, right? Okay, what you're looking at here, this article, it's by a financial planner in Hawaii, and what is his name? Michael W.K. Lee. I don't know him, but I like this article that he did. So this is a great idea to have a trial run. It'll give you a lot of insights into how prepared you are or not. Okay, so the third tip, it's practical. If you're not saving or haven't been, start saving. Let me pull up this slide over here. Okay, right here again, saving for emergencies, small increases in your retirement savings can lead to some big results. Nearly 3 in 5 women who save up to 2% of their household income. Let me just pause that for a second. 2% of women who save their household income. Let me see. There we go. Nearly 3 in 5 women who save up to 2% of their household income for retirement feel a fair amount or a lot of stress. Once women save between 10 and 14%, only about 3 in 10 indicate similar stress levels. Okay, so that's what we have there. So let's see. Okay, next thing I wanted to tell you is to boost your, let me go, use found money, right? Everybody has, on occasion you get the tax return, you get a bonus, you get a raise. The trick here is not to start just adding that to your lifestyle spending, but it is to begin saving that for retirement. Okay, so that's the idea here that you want to do. Now, of course, you have to invest the $100 that you save each month. Let me see here. Now I'm on cutting one expense. Let me just stop that there. Okay. If you want to cut just one expense, that's another way to do this. Now, there is some data from Morningstar, and $100, one expense, right? I mean, that's pretty much something that anybody can do. Let me go back over here. Okay, there, you got me there, not my slides. I know my slides got a little bit messed up there. But you get the point. You want to automate your savings. That's the first thing there, is if you just take small amounts out, begin to save them, get in the habit, you can increase that number over time. And, we've all heard this, and I think it really is true. Like when you're contributing to a 401k plan, for example, you do get to the point where you don't notice it and you count, you figure that your paycheck minus the 401k contribution, that is going to be your paycheck. Then, of course, there is at that point, there is the tax savings, but then later on, when you withdraw it from the IRA, you do owe the taxes, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into the weeds with the taxation of qualified retirement accounts. The point is to save. Okay, now my next slide here about the found money, the bonuses, I talked about that. Also, the cutting $100 a month and then investing it. You can free up much more than you might think. For example, let me see what my numbers say here. I wrote this down and I got the same numbers that Morningstar did actually. Monthly contributions at a 6% annual return after 20 years with a $100 monthly contribution. You ready? Drum roll, please. Would grow to a total of about $46,200. That includes the $24,000 contributed over 240 months and about $22,000 in earned interest. Compounding. Okay, let me just do a little math on this one. I have my 10, there it is, my HP 10B2 calculator. So what I did here, let's do clear all. Okay, clear all. Okay, so I've got that set to 12 payments a year. I'm just going to do the math right in front of you here. And then we said that was going to be, let's see, over 20 years. Let's see, 20 gold in. 6% interest, 6I, 100 negative payment, future value. Can you see that there? I don't know if you can. Yeah, 46,204.09, we'll call it. We'll round up. 46,204.09, okay? So if you did that, let me go back to this one right here, and I think I can show you. My slides are a little messed up here. Okay, there it is. Cut just one expense. Small lifestyle shifts can free up more than you expect. Cutting $100 a month. Expenses, assuming you invest it, right? equals 46,000 in 20 years at 6% growth. Okay, so put any unexpected money into retirement savings. Okay, so that is, let me just give you my email right here. If you want to talk to me about doing a plan, I'd be happy to. If you want me to look at how your retirement savings look right now, if you want any advice, happy to do that. I am an advisor with a registered investment advisory firm called Core Planning. Actually, I haven't really super duper announced that. It's very new. But shoot me an email, Kate at coreplan, PLN is plan, coreplan.com. All right. Hey, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I know I kind of go off on some tangents here, and I hope you found some of that helpful today. All right. I'll catch you next time. Bye.